Hey there, today it is absolutely nasty out, still very muddy, and we're dredging through the mud here, and so we're continuing to feed the herd. And as you saw there earlier, we have taken care of that as far as hay is concerned, and so they're very satisfied right now. Today it's about 28 degrees or so. Feels a little bit like about 20 degrees right now, so it's a bit cool out today. But what we're doing is, of course, feeding everybody, making sure everybody's good, everybody looks good. And I want to talk about that, talk about cattle nutrition today. You know, one of the things that you have to do because of the lack of forage in the winter season is not only make sure that they have, at least it's a good idea, to not only make sure that they have hay, but they also have other sources of nutrition. And so what we do is we will provide them with the pasture that they can go through, and they can, you know, nibble here and there, but the forage selection is reduced drastically during the winter. And so there's a bit of grass here and there that they'll get, but they rely on us to feed them the bulk of their nutrition through hay. So we do that. So we feed hay, and you've seen that before. But also, I wanted to talk about another nutrition source. From time to time, we have to supplement them. And so that's another food source I want to talk about today. And we're talking about these feed tubs, or protein tubs, we call them. And so we've got, I think, 6 of them here lined up right now. And these protein tubs are protein rich. They're about 24% crude protein and about 11% fiber for the cows, and then the rest of it's just various vitamin minerals and minerals that they don't get during the winter months when the forage is just not plentiful and it's not nutritious enough. And so we set these out, and they're kind of these big chunks, as you can see, and they're kind of compressed together. What they have in them is, of course, the protein and the minerals and vitamins and that sort of thing, but they're compressed together. They have molasses in there as well. So the cattle like it. Cattle really like to come and, you know, lick on these, and roughly 1 to 3 pounds per day is what they will consume. Ours tend to consume just a little less because there tends to be some grazing in some areas of the farm where they just prefer to be, and so they're not on these as much, and so sometimes these will last actually a good 30 to 60 days depending on how often they come. Now, a couple of things that you have to consider with these is cost. These run about $50 a tub, okay, and they're 200-pound tubs. And so what we do is we just put them in the bucket and we drop them off wherever we're going to put them on the farm. Another thing to consider is when you put them out on the farm, you want to make sure that they're in a place where they're not going to get knocked over and roll over somewhere, or roll down a hill and get into a dangerous spot where a cow tries to get to it, knowing what's there, what's typically in those, and then the cow gets hurt or something like that. So you want to put them on a flat ground, and we've got like a little tiny little ledge going down through the hill here that we're putting these in, and they haven't moved, and so that's good. Of course, it gets a little messy around there. Of course, when it's muddy, it gets real messy, where the cows will eat and that sort of thing. But this is another source of food for them during the winter. Now, you cannot sustain your cattle on this. This is a supplement to their diet already. So you will continue to feed them hay, and this will continue to be a supplement for them. We ended up using probably 12 to 18 of these per winter feeding season, depending on how harsh the winter is. But they tend to really like them, and it does help them, provide them some additional supplements and minerals that they do not get from the lack of forage that's during the winter season. So that's that. Just a little tip there on what we feed them in addition to hay during the winter, to give you just a peek at what's going on. All right, so we are back with the herd now, who are continuing to eat. At the place where we showed you the protein tubs is actually in an adjacent pasture over there, but we're back over here with the rest of the herd, and they are enjoying this hay. But the main thing, all of that to say, you know, you gotta, if you have cattle, if you have any animals for that matter, you got to take care of them. You got to tend to them, make sure that they're taken care of. You got to look out for their health and their nutritional needs and their well-being, because I'll tell you what, a happy, satisfied cow will produce so much better, I'm convinced, than one that's stressed and that's always just crazy. And you're going to have cows who act up from time to time. But for the most part, if they're calm and you can be calm with your cattle, That's an important thing. That's extremely important as you raise your herd as well. So with all that said, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you next time.